has gone clean, and they're going to try to not go to the if game. 45s beat Signature to get back here. They need to win twice. And again, we're over here. Hope the glare isn't too bad, but it's the only place I seem to be getting a decent signal. So we're going to be underway here in just a few minutes. So 45s, I think, won that game 9-1 or 9-2. Was running around getting ready for championship game. You saw that. Russ live streamed it, and we're going to be underway. So no secrets. Both these teams have won a ton of no gloves. I think this would be flashback 6th. 45s at one point. I know they had a streak where they won 4. My guess is they're well over 6. Should have added it up on the back of the t-shirt. So we got a little sun, like I said, so we'll hang in here. And leading off, very familiar face, Anthony Sanchez, PJ Raines, Nate Mercado. We'll get to the rules for some of you new to the stream. And Anthony takes the first pitch a little deep. So Mike Marasovic, flashback, won the winner's bracket 9-3 over the 45s. So Flash here trying to go back-to-back out here. And Sanchez to center field. Smykowski got there. We got a little wind blowing in. Anthony had an inside-out swing. Had that kind of spin. That ball wanted to hook back to Justin's right, but he stayed with it. And that's how the game begins. So that's going to bring up PJ Raines now. PJ having a pretty good weekend. PJ tries to go over the top. That ball's going to get knocked down. 2 up, 2 down. Brings up Nate Mercado. So I told you, I thought Mike Manzella was having a great weekend. I looked his stats up in between games. He's hitting .685. So he's certainly a candidate for MVP, I would think. Should Flash win. So here's Nate Mercado. And they are using 4 umpires in this game. You know, umpires sometimes, they don't like the 4-man crew because they never work in it. But that's always been a tradition here. And Nate just fouled. And that wasn't fouled by much.
Coach, your pitch.
Saw some grass and stuff kick up there. I couldn't tell if it was chalk or not. Spenza got over there very quickly. So 2 out here, top of the first. And one thing to keep in mind, if it does go to the if game, flashback is on this side with the sun pouring into their dugout. And Mercado slaps it, big hop for Vito, and he throws it crazy. Hit the pole on the dugout. Vito had all kinds of time, never really got set. And that ball hit the post in the dugout, came shooting back out. Vito's got a strong arm. Sometimes he likes to throw the ball on the run. No chance for Stacy, and here comes Vince Stacy. So Flashback's defense been pretty good most of the tournament. Stacy, high fly ball. Smykowski puts it away. At the end of a half inning, no score. And I need to flip the scoreboard, so let me take care of that now.
Right away, BK. Scotty. You big sucker, dude. I can make that throw all day.
And leading off is going to be Brian Kearns. Got the scoreboard right. You are automatically the home team if you come clean here. So that's going to bring up Brian Kearns having a good weekend. A couple of big hits in the win against the 45s in the winner's bracket, which we showed. Back to Israel, and that's the first out. Here in the bottom of the first, brings up Danny Dispenza. Danny is the current doubles leader in the Chicago Summer Series. And he does run hard out of the box. And Dispenza shoots that one straight up in the air. Chuck Regaldo puts it away, sky high. Fly ball took a long time to come down. And that brings up Justin Smykowski. And that winner's bracket championship game, Flash jumped up 1-0. Game was tied 1, and then Flash took control after that. And they just kept leaking out. Had a 9-1 lead. 45 scored a couple of runs late. Smykowski, long throw. Mercado will lead it. Justin, a lefty, runs terrific. That was deep in the hole. Nate knew he had no shot. Didn't want to risk throwing it away and letting him grab an extra base. Here's Mike Manzella. Wind picking up a little bit here late in the afternoon like it tends to do here in Chicago. Clouds have kind of disappeared and we have a breeze blowing in pretty good now. Most of the morning games in early afternoon, and Manzella stays hot. Simkowski going to easily get to third. And flashback, runners on the corner, 2 outs for Joe Piscitelli. So Flash, a golden opportunity here. Couple of 2-out hits. And it brings up Joe Piscitelli. Israel pours a strike in. That one makes it all the way to the catcher. So no secrets. These guys have probably played each other 100 times, and he hits it right back to Israel Sanchez. Think he was trying to beat him up the box. Joe had a couple of hits up the middle. That time he just chopped a little wood there. He didn't hit it solid. Ball popped up. Easy play for Israel. So we'll head to the top of the second. No score. This is the championship game of the 56th annual Park District of Forest Park No Glove Nationals tournament. For those of you tuning in, this is Chicago-style 16-inch softball. You're seeing it correct. No gloves, 60-foot bases. Leadoff can't steal. 38 from the pitching rubber to the point of home plate. 6-12 on the arc. Pitcher gets a drag step. 1 step left, right, or back. 2 fakes or hesitation. 3rd arm action must deliver the ball home. A throw or a fake to a base is one of your fakes or hesitations. Here's Jeff Mastari. It's a 16-inch clincher. It is not a mush ball. And we use heavy bats. They can weigh 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on the barrel. No fence, all you can get. Minimal foul territory down the right field line, a little bit more down the left. And if we need to pan to center, and there's Mastari going toward the gap, and he splits it. Simkowski grabbed it one-handed, fired it in from deep right center to keep Mastari to a double. Again, you can see the fans out there. They have a white line, and they're allowed to put their chairs there. So 45s first real threat of the ball game for them as Jeff Mastari splits the gap in right center. And here's Lentine, little chopper to Stacy. He does move the runner to third with less than 2 outs, and it brings up Adam Haas. Adam airmailed a triple down the right field line in the signature game right before this to help get the 45s here. It was a 2-run triple, and that ball just took off. So Flash here, hoping for a line drive or an infield pop-up. And if you're the 45s, you'd like to get a lead. And this is going to be interesting. Despenza's got a gun, throws it home, not in time. And Mastari, a very awkward slide, but he pops right up. And deep enough to get the job done there. 45's first lead of the game, 1-0. So it's a good pitch. And that's why I always tell you young kids, you don't need to hit the ball 300 feet to drive a guy in from third base. And Despenza's got a good arm. There's a high pop-up. Joe Pish cruises back, and that'll be the third out. But the 45s take the first lead of the game, 1-0. So, I'm put a little cool air on my tablet here. So we do have a lot of sun. You always worry about the phones overheating. But 45's an early lead. So that's going to bring up Joey Agardo, the shortstop, then Vito Iovino, and then Anthony Stacy. And now that the sun's in full bloom here, wind has died down, very humid and hot out today. So Joey Agardo trying to get something going. And Iggy, a little bouncer up the middle. Joe Pauly throws it away. Joey Agardo is on. He was in great shape there. Just yanked the throw wide left. So here's Vito, leadoff man on. Flashback trying to answer, down 1 here. Very early in the first championship game. And Vito gets a base hit. Joey Agardo will easily get to third. And with nobody out, runners on the corner. Vito just reached out and poked it into right center. Brings up Ryan Russ. Anthony Stacy. So Anthony Stacy now got an opportunity to tie the game. He just pushes it. This could be, he hustled down there, fielder's choice, but the game is tied. Game is tied at 1. Here in the bottom of the second, still only 1 out. And brings up Ryan Russ. And again, when you talk about big dogs playing each other, this is the definition. Both these teams have won a tournament. It'll be the first time in a couple of years somebody's won 2 out here in Chicago. And Ryan Russ slaps it at Israel. They will get Stacy, but not Ryan. So 2 outs now. So Flashback had first and third, nobody out. They did score a run. Last 2 hitters, Stacy and Ryan Russ, have beat the ball into the ground. Here comes Mike Meyer. They've had a tendency to swing for Mike at times. Mike, a terrific defensive player. I think he maybe only got one at-bat in the 45 game. And he calls a strike there. Mike thought he had a walk. And here's Mike Meyer now. And there's a strike. Ryan Russ running, full count. Another chopper. Villarreal, high throw. And he says he came down on the bag there. That was awful close. Adam Haas, a long, tall kid, jumped in the air. First base umpire felt he came down on the bag. Bobby Russ is not happy. He might be asking for help. He doesn't think he came down. He did come down on the bag. And so this is all just jockeying, trying to get the next call. And of course, first base umpire reversed a catch last night in the signature game when the ball was hit down the left field line. And I think Flashback still has some animus regarding that. Sometimes when a few calls goes against you, you tend to start disliking the umpire. So we're in the third inning, 1-1. Joe Pauly going to lead off here for the 45s. And of course, last year in the first championship, Mike Marasovic pitched a 1-0 shutout. So I guess if you're the 45s, you got to feel glad that you at least broke the seal. Here's Pauly, high fly ball with that breeze blowing in. Easy play for Ryan Russ. And now the breeze is picking up a little bit, giving everybody a little relief. And it brings up Israel Sanchez. Both teams keeping their powder dry here. A lot of times they would either swing for Izzy sometimes, but this early with nobody on, these teams understand the importance of having flexibility to make moves later in a ball game. And Israel, a soft line drive. Vito, the short center, can't get there. Smykowski was flying in, thinking about throwing to first. Israel has been fighting a left knee injury. Jeff Hernandez reminding his infield that on a fielder's choice, they have time to go to second. So here's Chuck Regaldo with Anthony Sanchez on deck. And Chuck's been swinging the bat pretty good the last couple of weeks, and he tries to go big, but again, in this wind, it's just getting knocked down out there, not going anywhere. So now you got 2 outs. Israel will be running on the swing, but not sure he can score on a stretch single if they get the ball clean and throw it in clean. So Anthony Sanchez, 2 outs, runner at first. Mike Marasovic, playing that wind so far, hasn't affected him.
2.
And umpire called that a ball. And Anthony will foul that out of play. into the crowd. So 2 strikes.
22.
At some point in this game, you expect both teams might loosen up offensively, and there's a ground ball, skips through Vito. Moji didn't know whether or not to touch it, pulled his hand back. Should have been a pretty routine play, went right through the wickets. And it brings up PJ Raines. So Israel did limp in here. Well, Eddie, you're probably going to get banned. We don't talk like that on this site. So that's just ridiculous. So here comes PJ Raines.
Don't let him call it.
And there he takes a strike. So, folks, we always got haters out there. And there's a hard line drive. Israel's is going to score. Anthony's going to take a big hard turn, but he comes back. So the 45s reclaim the lead 2-1. And it brings up Nate Mercado here. 45's in a good spot here to maybe pick up some more here with 2 outs. So right now, Flashback's defense hasn't been as crisp as it was when they were marching to this championship game.
I can't take it, you know that.
And there's a ground ball up the middle. Vito can't make that play. Another run scores. 1st and 3rd. A couple of plays up the middle that haven't been made here have kind of led to this 3-1 lead here in the top of the 3rd. And here's Sacy.
Here we go.
And you got Mastari on deck here. This is the 45 starting to feel it.
Here we go, pitch.
And Moj grabs a strike here. And we talk about Vince Sacy, got every swing you'd want to see in a hitter. And he pounds that to Meyer. He stays down. But they pick up a deuce. Flash a little loose with the softball. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. So we'll see how Flashback responds. And Flashback, see Julian Gutierrez coming out here, grabbing a bat. Mike Meyer made the last out, so I think Julian's going to take the swing here for Mike Marasovic. And then it'll be the top of the lineup with Brian Kearns and Danny Dispenza.
Bottom of the 3rd, number 7, Julian Gutierrez.
Hey, big start here, Jules.
So again, the calculation has changed for Flashback. They're now down 2. And here comes Julian Gutierrez now. As we get a little shade here, passing cloud. So Julian Gutierrez now trying to lead off here. Again, Julian is capable of using the whole field. And he goes toward the gap, and that's going to drop in front of Sanchez. And now he throws it away, and Julian ends up on second. Again, Julian had shut it down. There was no reason. He wound up and threw that like there was going to be a play. Julian saw the throw going wide, and now the leadoff man's at second. So here's Brian Kearns. Uncharacteristic mistake by the 45s. And that pitch is a little deep. And that pitch is a little bit. So Brian Kearns trying to find his way on. Israel grabs a strike. So Kearns is going to step out here. I believe it's a 3-1 count now. And Kearns just a little slapper to Mastari, and Mastari throws it high and wide. Now that's a perfect example. If you're Julian there, you might have thought about coming over. Nate was rotating to cover the bag. And now you got first and second, nobody out for Danny Dispenza. And Dispenza hard to Villarreal, to Mercado. And he stays on the bag. They do get the lead runner. Looked like Danny was trying to really drive something to left. He ended up topping the ball. Danny Villarreal, as smooth as it gets over there. And it brings up Justin Smykowski. Justin very difficult to double up because of his speed. 45s. And there's a Humpty base hit. One run is in. Here comes Dispenza to third. Smykowski comes through. 3-2, 45s. Still only one out here. It brings up Mike Manzella. So Mike Manzella, Joe Pish on deck. Flashback is attempting to tie the game here. Again, you got two very good teams that have played in everything you can play in. So there isn't going to be any quit in any of them. And Israel being very careful to Manzella. Of course, Mike was with the 45s the last 2 years, so they're very familiar with Mike. And this is going to be interesting. Regaldo threw a guy out last game. He's going to try it. Throw is wide. Dispenza scores. So we're tied at 3 on the sacrifice fly. Smykowski gets into second. And it brings up Joe Piscitelli, chance to put Flashback up. Flashback has not led in the game. And Piscitelli tried to go the other way. Adam Haas, good read, took a hard step, reached up and made it look easy. So again, we are live out here at the Park District of Forest Park's 56th annual No Glove National. And I'd like to thank everybody, the staff. They've been aces to us all weekend. John Doss, Jackie Avanelli, maintenance crew, Andrew Doss, great job overseeing the fields this weekend. And I'm sure I'm leaving a few people out, but they've been just great. They've made sure we needed everything we needed so we could do the game changer. And we'll have updated team standings and updated leaderboards this week on the Rap Show. We're going to try to do that maybe on Wednesday. So here's Jeff Mastari.
Come on, boys.
Split the gap for a double in right center his first time up. And there he just whistles one, and Vito can't come up with it. He's on twice.
Oh, shake it.
And Vito's had a rough start defensively to this game. He needs to take a breath and just relax a little bit. And that brings up Chris Lentine. Nobody out here. And Emoji jumps ahead now, 0-2. And there's a line drive. Stacy didn't make the catch. Tag Mastari, and they call the double play. Now Bobby Ross used to be the master at faking the drop. He had Mastari in front of him. That ball was hit pretty hard. And Stacy did the right thing. He tagged the runner first, and then he stepped on the bag. If you step on the bag, Mastari could have went back to first. Because the hitter is forcing that base runner off the bag. The base runner there does not have a right to first base until you put out the hitter. And Haas sweeps it at Vito. And Vito really struggling over there. You can tell because he went down on both knees instead of staying upright and coming through the ball, and he got a little hop. So Adam Haas is on. And it brings up Danny Villarreal. So flashback, a little uncharacteristic here. A few infield errors. And Danny goes the other way. Spenza gets there and makes the play. So halfway through, all tied at 3. Now, if there's an if game, the 45s would be the home team. If you're flashback, the pressure's not on you because you have the if game to fall back on. But if you're the 45s, of course, the pressure's on because they either got to win or they got to go home.
Everybody together.
So it's going to be Joey Agardo, Vito, Iovino, and Anthony Stacy. So let's see if this tough start by Vito gets carried over to his offense. Did get a hit his last time up. And there's a little ground ball to Paulie, and they get Joey Agardo at first. So here's Vito. And I got to tell you, the 45s have failed to cash in on some miscues. And we'll see if that ends up haunting. We'll see if that ends up haunting them later in the game. Grabs a strike there. And there's a hard ground ball. Big hop to Mercado. 2 up, 2 down. 45s have certainly had more base runners. And here comes Anthony Stacy. Ryan Russ on deck. As we get the return of the bright sunshine. And that's a high pop-up. It'll be out of play. That's good news for Anthony. If it was in the field of play, or fair anywhere, he would have been out. So we are live here. SSA broadcast guest streaming. Forest Park has put on another